Ja, vi elsker dette landet som det stiger frem.
3, 2, 1, 0,
You're listening to the Knives Templars. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, I'd like to welcome everybody to our show today for the Knives Templar, and we're going to take a little different approach. My buddies that are normally on the show with me, my co-host Eric, Chris, Odysseer, and Joey are spending their afternoon making knives today, and I am fortunate enough to have a couple really close friends. I would like to introduce you guys to my friend Jarl Erik Storsson. Did I say that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Jarl Erik Storesund. That's the Norwegian.
Storesund.
Storesund. Yeah.
And where do we find you at in the world? Where do we find you at in the world today?
Yeah, I live in a small town, Tysvær, outside of the city of Haugesund, and that's in the western part of Norway.
And that's on which sea is that on? The North Sea?
Yeah, North Sea, yeah. So we got England on our, what is it, west-south, I think, southwest.
I don't know. You can use a sunstone. Is it a sunstone that you use to go to England?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, correct.
Got you. And we've got Anders Hermansen. And he is coming to us from another place in Norway. Where do you find yourself today, Anders?
I'm in a little town called Mysen.
And see, I've always said Mysen.
Yeah, that's about almost correct. It's in the east of Norway.
So how long would it take you to...
Oslo.
Oslo.
And how long would it take you to get to your next country over is Sweden, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And how far are you from Sweden?
About 35 minutes.
Gotcha. So that's pretty cool. Is it? Can you just drive across the border?
Yeah, I can. We often go there for shopping, vacations, little fishing trips and stuff like that.
Oh, you get those little Swedish fish.
Yeah, the goldfish, they are awesome in Sweden.
In America, Swedish fish are these little red, gummy-tasting, over-sugared fish that we eat. They're candy. Is that the same thing you're talking about?
Oh, yeah. They come in a little bag, a little blue bag, and it says goldfish.
Ah, I got you. We just call ours the Swedish fish. Swedish fish.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'll tell our listeners today how I met you guys. I have had a beard for many years, and when you have a beard, Facebook's algorithms figure you out and start recommending things to you. And I guess that I don't do very good typing my English because it must have thought it was a foreign language. I probably don't spell well. And it said, hey, you may want to join this site. It's a Beardman Club, and it was called Shagaman Klubben. And it's run by some really cool guys. And ironically, I found many years ago that I had some Scandinavian heritage. I would like to think that it's Norwegian, but it's just in the Scandinavian zone as it was circled on my little map. And then I've got some English and some Scottish heritage as well. But I teamed up with these guys and joined the Facebook group Shagaman Klubben, which is a Beardman club. And it's really cool because over in Norway, they have this club that not only meets as social gatherings, but they also go out and do a lot of things annually for different charities, especially children in hospital around Christmas. It's such a beautiful thing they do. But I got to where I was enjoying these guys, got a club ring, and there were 4 guys, 2 of which are with us today, that just stood out in the group that I'd befriended, and we formed our own little side group, and called, I think we called it in the beginning, 4 Vikings and a mutt Viking or mutt Englishman, because I claimed a little heritage, even though probably not a lot there. But anyway, have just developed a wonderful relationship with these guys, and they've got wonderful families over there, and I've learned a lot about their culture, and looking forward to visiting them someday. So, how do you guys interpret that story?
Yeah, I think that's about right. The way I met you was through the Segment Klubben on Facebook, and I saw, I think it was you and Kai or something, that one of our little group that had a conversation or something on Facebook, and I think you sent some kind of presents to each other, and I thought, oh, why not try myself?
That's right.
Yeah, and I think it was it before Corona, or was it just in the beginning? Yeah, so
it was right before.
Yeah, and I was in a like a personal transformation, so I was like trying to get more open-minded and just try new things. Like, why not try to be friends with an American dude on Facebook?
Yeah.
So and we
and for me, it's always good to have. For me, it's always good to have a couple Vikings as your friends.
Yeah, of course, always.
You guys are tough.
I don't think so. We like to think so.
Do you still think of yourselves as Vikings, or you just think yourselves as Norwegians? Tell me what I want to hear, but tell me the truth.
Yeah. Okay, the truth is, I see myself as a Norwegian, but I actually live by the old Norse ways. You know, you got the religion called Asatru, often referred as Norse mythology, and you know, like Thor, Odin, Loki, stuff like that. I always lived like that, you know. So in many ways, you can say, yeah, I might be a Viking.
Cool.
You look like one.
Yeah, he absolutely does.
Hmm.
No, I think it's so cool because, see, here in America, and of course that was Anders talking, and Anders' story, he kind of came into our group the same way. We all just got to chatting.
All knife makers need abrasives, plain and simple. Here at Knives Templars, we're proud to partner with Phoenix Abrasives. I used to get my belts from another company, but they spent more time on marketing than they did customer service, sometimes taking 2+ weeks to ship my order. That's not the case with Phoenix Abrasives. They're obsessed with committing all of their resources to customer satisfaction. Whether you're using a 2x72, 2x42, 1x30, or something else, they've got you covered. They even carry Rhino Wet sandpaper. So go to phoenixabrasives.com/shop and enter promo code TEMPLARS10 for 10% off your next order.
The thing is, in America, is that we have this history of 250 years, and it's not a lot, and it's such a melting pot of everybody. It's the reason we scramble and do our 23andMe to find out where we came from, to say, hey, we came from this particular region. And I guess I know that even people from Norway, you know, you're still a melting pot of people over the centuries that came into Norway, but your heritage is a lot truer to your DNA and bloodline as far as your people go. So, I mean, you've got a couple thousand years worth of heritage, and people really only know about, you know, what happened 1,200, 1,300 years ago. But there's such a great story to tell that your country. But the thing is that you can go back and look on those old civilizations and realize that that's still in your blood. And I see that in the pictures, and I see that you share when you go out and do things, and just really how you are as a people. People think that I think that the Viking culture was one that was pillaging and destroying, but Vikings brought a lot of culture to the world and was really a wonderful farming community and a technical community for the development of weapons. And you can also say that world navigation, because I do believe a gentleman from Scandinavian descent came to America first. I think he beat Columbus by quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I was about to say that. The common like perception or how we like to see the Vikings are like they were travelers, explorers, and not just rapists and pillagers. So we like to see ourselves like that, explorers. So and a lot of Norwegian guys and women and men throughout the times have traveled and explored great things even after the Viking times. So yeah, I think we like to look at ourselves as explorers.
Well, what's wrong with
Yeah.
you guys? Because you haven't made any pilgrimage to America yet. You're both still sitting over there. You got that big sea right next to you. And I
Yeah.
told you we'd go to Nashville.
Yeah, I was when me and my wife married, we went on a 4 weeks trip, and we went to New York for a week, and Florida, Orlando, yeah, for a week, and on a cruise. And the biggest mistake we did, hindsight, was following just the charter line of everything. We went to Times Square in all the shops and bought a lot of useless things. And yeah,
Yeah, what did you think about America as compared to Norway? What was the difference? What if that was your first time here, correct?
no, I think
Oh, I'm sorry.
obviously my view on America, as many other things, has grown as I have grown, and coming to understand
Yeah.
how we all are just people. So looking past all the politics and whatnot, I think it's always been like a very exciting uh, thing for me. And I'm playing music, guitar, as you know, and
Yeah.
so America obviously are like a heaven when it comes to, you mentioned Nashville. And yeah, I felt like when we went to America, we were in a lot of those amusement parks and shops, and everything was big. But the people, I remember, was very, very kind, and
In New York City.
always trying to. Yeah, I think all over the place where we met people. Obviously, we didn't go to a lot of things outside of like in New York, Times Square and Square. Was the Square Garden? No, the park.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden or
Yeah. No, the park where
Central Park.
Central Park, of course. Yeah.
As
So
long as you're there during the day.
coming in.
As long as you're there during the daytime.
Yeah, yeah. So we were there only by daytime, and so we the experience we had are limited to where we went and what time we went there, of course. So, but I think there was a lot of nice people throughout, families. Yeah, we met some other types of people too, with their
Yeah, lots
own struggles.
of
But
different types
even
of
those,
people.
yeah, yeah. But I think everyone was kind to us and open-minded. That we were Norwegian, and so no, a good impression.
Well, that was great. Anders,
Yeah.
you're a hardworking man. You actually you both are, but I haven't talked to you that much yet. So Anders, you live over in, I say Meissen, you say Meeson.
Yeah.
Okay, Meeson. Meeson?
Musen. Yeah,
Okay.
that's actually perfect.
And you are quite the outdoorsman. And I made you. Well, let me tell this quick story real quick because Kai is
Yeah.
not on the call today, but our friend Kai, he was talking about going out and buying a new knife, an Opnol or something like that, back in September or so of 2019. And I had always wanted to start
Mm.
making knives, and I think I started making this knife, which really looks like something that someone would make in prison these days. It was, but
It's one of the prison chunks
yeah, but
you
he says
mentioned
he
in
says he likes it.
a earlier episode.
I think he says he likes it, but I think he'll get a new one someday. You all will because you're dear friends. But so I made this very first knife very crudely and bought some supplies, and I probably had $1,000 into that first knife because of all the things I was buying to make it. But Anders, you got knife number two, the Woodwose
Yeah, I did.
Bushman, and one of the things I
Correct.
noticed about you was you're a great outdoorsman in your
Hmm.
work
That's
and
correct.
life.
Yeah, I'm a logger by heart and work. So I take the knife with me when I'm outside, felling trees and stuff like that. And in my breaks, I often take out the knife and start whittling uh, away just to make something. Because the knife you made me, you say it's uh, not a good knife, but to be honest, it's one of the best knives I've ever had. Because and I had a lot of knives during my time, but this is so special. I just love it. Feels good to use. It gets the right handling,
The grip,
if that's the correct word.
the grip.
Yeah, the grip and weight on it. It's so perfect.
Well, it's nice of you to say that. And I guess what I would say, the knives are very nice. They're perfectly good knives. It's just I think that my ability to make a more attractive knife, and you have those are attractive knives. It's just your skill grows. Matter of fact, you talk about felling trees and
Mm.
it's amazing what you do. You're a chainsaw master. I'm surprised you haven't put out any videos juggling them yet. But yeah,
Eh, Challenge accepted.
yeah, I mean,
No,
you
man.
definitely. I'm surprised you're not in any advertisements selling chainsaws. But not only that, your craftsmanship, any type of wood or things that you do, some of the outdoor thing that I saw you do early on that was so cool we don't really see here in America is you made this nice little sitting area out of logs that you had felled trees. And I don't remember if it had a roof on it or not, but I know it had chairs or benches built into it and just a place for people to sit and relax. And I thought, man, that's just so neat. And to be able to think in your mind and put that together was cool. You remember that?
Yes. Yeah, I remember that very well because that was a lot of work, a lot of work. Um, I don't even remember the English word for it, but yeah, now I did as I said it because I was making uh, log joints or what
Yeah.
you call it, Yeah, uh,
Yeah, joints. You're right. You're
freehand,
right.
yeah, freehand log joints with chainsaw, and I used a little axe. Um, to make it, and I remember all the work, but it was so worth it because it turned out very, very, very nice, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen you do anything that is not cool. Matter of fact, you've made
Thank you.
toys for children that need things, and you are
Mm.
actually a social leader in Schegman and work with them on a lot of the charity
Yes,
work and the different things that they do in the communities. Correct?
correct. I try to contribute with what I can, so either if I'm there helping, maybe driving something or whatever they need me for, I'm trying to be there as often as I can. Uh,
Yeah, you're probably one of the most giving people I've met in my life. It's a nice thing.
Well, I try because uh, one of my uh, life in uh, goals here in life is that there's too much cruelty in the world, so be the beacon of light. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but
No.
always be a good person. That's what I try to teach to my daughter too. Always be the best version of yourself, and if that is to, making a wooden toy for a kid that is like maybe 8, 9 years old and never had a toy because the parents can't afford it, I will make him one, or I will buy him one, or something like that, because everybody deserves a worthy life.
Yeah. Everybody needs to
Yeah,
know they're loved.
I think Chip. I think Anders. He's like the guys with long beards, skinheads with a lot of tattoos. They look scary when
Right?
they come to the old lady and they say, "Oh, can I help you with your bags?" And just a good-hearted man. That's Anders.
uh, yeah, that's actually pretty on spot,
Accurate?
because when you say it like that, I actually help old elder people over the road. I carry their groceries. I help women with their strollers if they go upstairs, stuff like that. That's what I do.
Yeah. You got a big heart. And I noticed that about you early on. And of course, I would say that Kai and Morton, our other friends that are part of our particular group, they have those same hearts that each of you do. Even when Jarl Eric puts on his too small band uniform and goes dancing up the street with a drum, with a child's parade beating on the drums for your Norwegian Independence Day and things like that. I've seen. So,
As knife makers, we all know the importance of quality handle material. Something that's both tough yet beautiful will increase the value of your knives and allow you to build something that your customers will love. When it comes to the handle material for my knives, I choose Swikowski scales. Run by Sarah Halpane and her mentor Alex Swikowski, they have a combined 20 years experience making handles and knives. They offer stabilized burls, exotic hardwoods, vintage micartas, and some of the best segmented scales in the business. Find them on Instagram at Swikowski Scales or on their website, swikowskiscales.com. That's SWIECZKOWSKI scales.com.
so Anders, so you got a pretty special knife from Chip, and I can tell
Yeah, I
you,
got.
yeah, let me tell you how special it is. You got a special edition knife called the Woodwose Bushman Full Moon Edition.
Correct.
Do you know why it's the Full Moon Edition?
Probably because of I got no hair.
No, no, no. You've got there's above the Bigfoot logo. Have you
Yeah,
noticed there's a full moon there, right?
yeah, I noticed it on the blade that you have your logo there and a full moon. Of course, I seen it.
So you know why that full moon is there?
Why the full moon is there?
Well, I'm just going to tell you because
Yeah.
every knife is 57 mistakes corrected, and you're hearing this for the first time. On your particular knife, when I was putting the logo on the knife, there was a little pinhole in my stencil, and when I put the logo
Yeah.
on there and I took it off, there was this little hole, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it was deep, and I've just ruined this knife. How do I fix it?" So I cut out a little circle with a hole punch, a little tiny one off of a leather hole punch, so it's less than a couple millimeters across in circumference, and I etched a perfect circle in there, and it became the full moon edition. And since there was a Bigfoot walking through the forest, it worked, right?
Yeah, it was so
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool.
Now you
Yeah.
know the story.
But Chip,
Yes.
you were talking about your heritage
Yeah.
uh earlier. Uh, and since we were talking about Bigfoot, I found out what your actual heritage is.
What is that?
That's your 50% Norwegian and 50% Bigfoot.
I think there's a strong resemblance there for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Have you guys seen any?
You're half Viking, half Sasquatch.
Yeah, and a little bit of English maiden from one of those trips over into England back in 1200 A.D. So,
Mm.
you guys seen any Bigfoots in Norway recently?
Yeah, but he's a friend of mine.
I got you. I got you. But he
They are both are equal hairy.
got you. But they won't tell anybody they saw you because the other Bigfoots won't believe him. So,
Yeah, I know. You
so
know, Asa? Ah.
so Eric, Jarl Eric,
Yeah.
how do you come by the name Jarl Eric? Because here in America, when we watch the show Vikings or we watch the show Norsemen, which are shows that you have also had over there, you hear the word Jarl, and Jarl means to us it means like chief or the leader. So how did you
Yeah.
come about the name Jarl Eric?
Yeah, obviously it's not my decision to have the get that name, but yeah, I always loved my name because of the the comparison with the Viking uh, chiefs or um, yeah the jarls, and so I'm not sure. I have a grandfather named Jarle with an e
Uh huh.
on the end, and I'm not sure if that's where the name come from, but yeah, I think it's like a true Norwegian name. If it was only
Right.
Eric, it would be more like international, and so I love the name, and I think actually the Eric part means powerful or ruler. So you got
Yeah.
the chief ruler or the mighty chief, or you can play with it as you like. But yeah, I love the name. It gives me like a
What?
feeling of belonging to the Viking area or something like that. Also, I want to mention like this
Yeah.
place where I live and where my uh, uh, what's it called kin my family come from,
Uh huh.
and my family name Storesund. This was the place like 10 minutes from my house. It's a place called Avaldsnes, which was the capital in the Viking area. And so we have a lot of like Viking heritage in this area, and so yeah, I like my name. Going back to go back to that. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and he also had a famous guy from the Viking ages that was called Eric the Great.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And
Yes.
I also, if I don't remember wrong, he was also called Eric the Bloody because he was kind of, you know, psycho. He was, uh, he was very violent.
He gave the Vikings their reputation.
He probably did,
yeah,
yeah.
But I'm sure that's
So
not
there you go.
I'm sure that's not our Jarl Eric. He was probably see. There was another great Viking that I read about called Eric, the goofy funny guy, and he was from the Viking era as well. And I'm sure that Jarl Eric Storsson is from that particular lineage.
I think so.
Yeah, since it was so goofy.
Yeah,
He was probably the nephew of Goofy.
yeah, I think so. No,
So so Eric,
yeah,
I was going to say I made you a knife and as well, and you guys have sent me some really cool pictures. Some of my most treasured pictures are the knives you've sent me actually over in Norway, and I've got one where it's in a log, and you're cooking something that we actually do here in the United States. If you go backpacking, which is you wrap dough around a stick and you cook it over a fire. And then you've got this one neat one that's on my website where you're out at the water's edge, and you kind of pan over, and your wife's walking up from the water, and I actually made an advertisement out of it.
Yeah.
And you actually got my second knife I ever made. Oh, no,
Yeah.
excuse me, third knife I ever made.
Yeah, third,
Anders got
yeah.
number 2.
Yeah, I was very, very pleased with that, and it felt like it was not long after I got to know you guys. I don't know how long it was, but it kind of that was not my intention of getting to know you guys or coming together in your already established little group. So, but it was cool when you started making knives, and actually I've my grandfather and my aunt, I think, and my brother actually, they have all made knives, and my aunt did for a very long time. So that's always been something that I have wanted to do. And so when I saw you were getting into that, and actually was going to give me a knife, it was felt very, very special, I think. So and I love that knife. I think it looks a little bit different than all the other knives. They all do, of course, but with the square type of sheath, and you did a deer on the sheath, and
A Norwegian red deer.
Yeah.
A Norwegian red deer.
yeah, that's right.
Tell deer too. Just depends on what side of the water you're on.
Yeah, of course. No, so I like Andrew said, I love the knife, and it's always with me when me and my kids and wife were around on our hiking trips or whatever. So yeah.
Well, I never got the impression that any of you guys were befriending me for a knife, and here we are a year and a half later, a little over a year and a half, I guess, as good friends, and we've given things to each other. Matter of fact, I just recently got a package from Morton with these wonderful wool mittens for my wife and I and my new grandchildren. I'm not going to do my conversions right now, but it went from like 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is right at 0. 32 is 0 in America, to now it's shorts weather and it's sunny outside, and we're all running around, and we could go jump in the water now. So here it is, March the 6th, and it's almost 80 degrees, which would probably be around 27 or 28 degrees Celsius for you guys. So
Yeah.
I'll have to wait to wear my mittens next year.
Phoenix Knives invites you to the Texas Select Custom Cutlery event, April 2nd and 3rd in Belleville. One of the largest knife shows in Texas, featuring forged and fire bladesmiths and knife makers from across the nation. Enjoy live forging demonstrations, chopping competitions, and shop for custom knives. Live auction, knife raffle, hot food, and cold beer all benefit local charities. Sponsored in part by Paragon Kilns, Ballistic Dummy Lab, and the Texas Knife Makers Guild. April 2nd and 3rd. Find us on TexasSelectEvent.com.
We don't have much of a winter in Alabama, and you guys have come through a beautiful winter. My second winter knowing you guys and seeing you out skiing and ice fishing and all these different things. The only thing I haven't seen you do this year, Eric, is rip off your clothes down to your bathing suit and go jump into the water ice cold, which seems to be a Norwegian thing.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I think I did that last year, and the kids went wild when their daddy, and my take on it was I was trying to be goofy to it was one of the fields where they grow the grass to feed to the sheep, and it was had been a lot of rain, and we had a nice pond So I was going to just run out of the car and jump into the water and swim in like 30 centimeters of water. But I think it would be cool. But it has become like a big thing in Norway, and a lot of guys are swimming in the water and the ice, like the Wim Hof era we're seeing now, where everyone
Yeah.
supposed to jump in. So
Yeah.
I think I've
Recently, there was a YouTuber that was very successful that just died recently in the icy water. And I don't know if it was Norway or Denmark or Sweden or where, but went into the water and didn't come back out. And he was kind of known for doing crazy stuff. So,
yeah. So for me, it was only I always been doing like fun, goofy things, and so maybe one of these days put me on to
yeah.
the idea.
Yeah, your water was only like 20 centimeters deep, and
Yeah,
you were in and out as
yeah, not
quickly.
much.
It was something else. So yeah, so your family, and that's one of the things I thought was really cool about you, and you actually I've seen the knives and all the stuff that you've shown us from your parents' house where they had or grandparents' house and so on that had the handles and the knives, a lot of hidden tang type knives, and really cool craftsmanship. And there's a lot of wonderful, still old world craftsmanship of old men just working in small little buildings making knives, putting them out all over Europe these days. But
Yeah,
Norway is one place. Poland is another place where you see a lot of really nice old world type knives come out.
yeah. I think the like the knife heritage, if I was to call it that, in our family is a bit different. I think of because they are not they're not smith, and they are not making the steel like you guys.
Right.
So
Well,
the
it's still knife making,
yeah,
and
yeah, of
there's an
course,
art
yeah.
to
So
that. So
I think the hours and the like the honor in the craftsmanship was to make like different types of handles and sheaths with different expressions with animals or whatever. So
yeah, so a very popular hiking knife over here in the United States. A lot of if you go to outdoor stores and buy equipment, is Mora knife, MORAKNIV, I believe is how it's spelled. And is that a Norwegian or is that a Swedish
Yeah,
brand?
that's right. The Mora knives, isn't that Norwegian? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
is it?
And I use a lot of those knives in my line of work when I do carpentry because uh, I won't use the knife I got from you for all the work I do because it's too nice.
Right.
So I have like I think 10 Mura knives, different types of knives, for different carpentry, and they are pretty good.
Yeah, people prize them over here, and they actually pay quite a bit for them. And they're not terribly expensive, but they take care of them like very special knives because number one, they're lightweight, and they're very sturdy knives. And there's also some groups out there that they go out and buy the knives and cut the handles off of them because they've all got a polyester or plastic type handle, and they'll put really fancy handles on them, which is kind of neat to see. But it's amazing that you see them pretty much as just an everyday utility type knife, and over here they're kind of a specialty hiking knife. Guess
yeah,
it's all in how it's marketed.
Yeah,
but
the utility knives. Yeah,
I was thinking about a thing when I see the way that you make knives, where you have a like a steel plate and you cut it out and do your thing.
Right.
But I like the blades that we use here when making a knife. If we buy a blade, at least it's I think
Yeah.
it's two different kind of steels, or pressed together or something.
Kind of like
Damascus.
Damascus steel, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the
Yeah.
difference.
Modern day Damascus.
Yeah, but I think the Damascus is just. I think isn't that where you just press the hell out of the steel and to compress it?
Well,
Or
they mix steels. They mix steels. They'll pour powders in there, steel powders, and they will heat them to high temperatures to weld the steel.
yeah,
Then they'll hammer it out and they'll fold it and hammer it and fold it to get different types of patterns in the steel.
Isn't that why when you make Damascus knives, you gotta wield and a weld smith them, right?
They will put them in a canister and they will evacuate the air because they're going to fill it up with metal powders, and they will set and take all the air out, and then they will heat them to a very high temperature where you're doing welding the metals together. And then if they fold them and this, that, and the other after they come out, then they use like borax to set and hammer them out from there. I'm not a Damascus expert by any means. I just kind of understand the process a little. But I'm not a real big Damascus fan. I don't really. They're beautiful knives.
Yeah.
It just doesn't appeal to me to make them.
I don't think that's what I meant actually, because I think that it's like if you make a if you make if you make the steel plate into like a U shape and you put another steel inside and you press so that the what's it called, the sharp edge or
Oh,
you know
the harder steel is in the fold.
yeah that's right, yeah.
Hey listeners, let's take a moment today to thank one of our sponsors for today's show, and that sponsor is Ameribraid Grinders. Eric and Kevin over at Ameribraid have sold thousands of these grinders, and they are super nice guys, and their customer service is excellent. I would know. I've been personally using their 2x72 grinder now for 2 years, and it has changed my knife making to a whole new level. So if you're in the market for or looking to upgrade from that 1x30 or 2x42, then give Ameribraid a look. There you'll find they have 3 packages of grinders to offer. They have a mastery package, a foundations package, and a get grinding package, in which all of them come at different price points. So I'm sure you'll find something that'll suit your needs as a knife maker. And now, back to the show.
Yeah, so like in axe making, you'll see that a lot where they will split the steel on the cutting edge, and they will introduce a piece of high carbon steel into that, and then they will forge weld that together,
Yeah.
so that you have a hardened edge on that cutting edge like that. That's very common in forged axes to do
Yes,
it
exactly.
that way.
That was so my question was what's the difference? Why are you guys making it out of one piece, not like that?
Oh, yeah, it was pretty easy answer. So the steels that I use are high carbon. I usually, about almost 1% carbon. And when I get that piece of steel, it's annealed, which means it's in a soft state. And I will grind it out at that point. And then once I grind it out, I heat it to a high temperature and I quench it in an oil. And all different steels quench in different media. Some will quench in a brine solution. Some you do in different types of oil. Some you can use in a like a canola oil or a peanut oil. And some people will use an oil called Parks 50, and they make different oils for all different kinds of steels. And it's so that it achieves a hardened state. So where you're talking about like when they make that axe, instead of making that whole axe, because you want some of that softness of the other steel up in the axe,
Yeah.
it's for performance. But with a knife, I can quench it. And when I quench it, it hardens it just like that edge on that axe, but it can harden all the way through. Or I can do an edge quench where I just dump or dip the cutting edge in there. And then I go back and temper it after that to soften the steel just up a little bit so that it's not brittle. And at that point, it maintains enough flexibility in the steel and enough hardness. And with, the difference between what in America we call gas station knives or good quality store-bought or handmade knives, has a lot to do with the steels that's used and how it's hardened. And it's not that, any knife can be sharpened and will cut. Hey guys, what was your source of inspiration when you first decided to make knives? You know, many go to the books and also some go to the web, but many also head to YouTube for videos. Well, you know, we are fortunate enough to have Eric Rivers from the Rivers Experience as a co-host on the Knives Templars. But you know what? He's also a sponsor, and I tell you, 27,000 followers can't be wrong in following his skilled and educational regular videos that teach the fine arts of making beautiful knives. I know because I'm a subscriber to his channel and I learned at my pace and without making those mistakes by walking in the dark regarding knife making. Be sure and check out his channel, The Rivers Experience, on YouTube or his website at theriversexperience.com. And now back to our show. How's things going in the world on your side? I mean, you're closer to what's going on in Russia today, you know, and unfortunately in the Ukraine. You know, I spoke with you earlier, and you were telling me that Norway is a member of NATO, which I didn't understand. But how are the people doing in your side of the world? Business as usual, the same worries that we have as Americans, or do you feel any undue worry right now? I know that we heard about a nuclear station they said was on fire, which they said turned out to be an administrative building, but things like that really are something else. So how's things in Norway regarding that?
Well, it's kind of quiet here, but they are going, a little more on the alert than in peace times. And well, we're sending uh, food, clothing, weapons, and stuff like that to Ukraine. Um,
Yeah, like
yeah,
Anders said, I think we're all just a little more on the alert, but we're it's I think the difference maybe between America and Norway is the size of everything. So the media in Norway, of course, there are different types of
Right.
meanings and everything, but I think it's much smaller. So we feel, I think, the information we're getting are the the truth. So yeah, I think we're just watching and yeah, holding our breath, kind of, yeah,
wait,
way.
waiting.
Yeah, we're kind of doing the same thing here. You know, it's kind of odd to see that it's life as usual here, but everybody's watching and waiting, and I think a lot of us are just praying that the evil in the world kind of goes away. And I don't even feel that the Russian people really truly want to be in this conflict right now. Unfortunately, it's probably a very very tiny small portion of the Russian people that are enjoying what they're doing right now. But I pray for you guys because I know that you're closer to it, even from other situations, just beside direct war, just the closeness of it. But it's a different world, and I really hope that it comes to an end because I've had to endure 2 years of this pandemic because I do plan to come to Norway to visit you guys, and then on top of that, now we've got this, which kind of shuts things down. So I don't know. We need many years of peace ahead of us, and it's like you guys were saying earlier. I think it was Anders that people just want to be loved, and they just want. We just need kindness in the world.
Mm,
And if that's coming from two Vikings,
Yeah,
that's
but
pretty damn cool,
mm.
given your reputation as
yeah,
Vikings.
no, but isn't that the way of the world? Unified, I think it's 99.9 of people are just kind and want peace and love, and you got some rich, powerful dudes are just trying to, yeah, do whatever they are trying to do, to disrupt it all. So yeah,
Money and power.
yeah,
Money and power corrupts the man. That's for sure.
The biggest problem is that when you put a man with, excuse my French, small penis syndrome at the top for 24
Yeah.
years, something's gonna go wrong, and now we have the result. So they should have seen that long time ago that he shouldn't be at the top for so long because he's become drunk with power. and
Right.
now right now he's abusing it, uh, and that's not good. But I'm not too afraid that he's gonna attack Norway because you gotta be kind of special stupid to attack a land full of Vikings. And remember,
And a
uh,
NATO country at that. So
yeah, remember, in the Viking ages we only had axes and swords and stuff like that. Now we actually have assault rifles and the best trained Panzer battalion in the world. So yeah, try it.
well, and everybody in America's got 15 guns in their closet. So no
Yeah,
sense in coming here.
so,
We're
so,
already locked and loaded.
a lot of people here in
And we
Norway
also have
also have a lot of
Yeah.
guns. So
And I
yeah,
think,
yeah. Well, we also have Ted. We have Ted Nugent. We have Ted
yeah.
Nugent and Chuck Norris here,
Oh yeah, Chuck Norris
and
should
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
just send Chuck Norris over to Russia and it's done.
but I think,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah. I think
Russia,
that.
doesn't they have like the Steven Seagal type?
Yeah, but see that just like you just laughed, we all laugh at Steven Seagal over here as well. So
Mr. Seagull.
yeah, yeah. Well, we're just gonna pray for the poor people, and it's like all we can do is give what we can and help to rebuild when it's time. And I even saw some people here in the States are paying for Airbnbs, and even though they can't use them, not Norway, Ukraine, even though they can't use them, the Ukrainian people still get paid. So if one way to send money to Ukrainian people is to pay for their
That was
Airbnbs that
smart.
they rent, and the money goes directly to
Yeah,
them.
that's nice.
So it's one neat way. So hopefully we'll have ways to correct that, and it'll be
I just
okay in
have
the future.
one more thing to say about like the how we see the situation, or like because we are so close. And I felt like the other day I do a lot of hunting, so I got a lot of guns, rifles, and shotguns. And the other week, I think it was, I seriously thought about I have to go out and get some more ammunition, but then I have to, breathe a little bit and think, no, no, calm down. So yeah,
It's better to be prepared.
yeah, I'm prepared. I got ammunition,
Yes.
but you get the
Yeah,
feeling of panic, and you just have to breathe and calm down and be a bit rational.
I can relate to that.
That is
I am
that
prepared
is
too.
true.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
You know what it is. It's not so much for ourselves; it's for our wives and children in general. One thing I've seen coming out of Ukraine is the looks on the mothers and the children's faces, and no place in the Middle East, no place in Europe, no place in Africa or anywhere should mothers and children have those
No,
looks on their faces.
it's,
So that's what we have to work to fix and buy ammunition. And it's hard to buy ammunition in the United States. It gets to this, it's been that way for years. It gets to the stores and it gets bought up as quickly as it hits the store shelf. So my ammunition, I typically will, and I just bought a couple guns, but I've been buying my ammunition online from distributors that way, and they can ship it directly to your house, which is kind of nice. But my goal is just to go out and shoot deers and turkeys and
yeah,
put them on the table.
mine too.
Only thing I ever want to take its life, and my grandfather taught me early on: if you're not going to eat it, don't kill it. So, that deers and turkeys. So we'll see how that goes here.
Yeah, that's my take
Oh,
on it
okay.
too. If I shoot or kill something, I better eat it, and I'm not prepared to eat humans. Not yet.
not yet.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
The
think
zombie
twice about
apocalypse
coming
is
over
soon
there.
coming. You've seen the signs, right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
for
I gotta
sure,
joke
for
a little
sure.
bit because yeah, I think everything that's going on and has been going on for the last years, it's been horrible. It's been so sad. And but we gotta face one thing, or you gotta cut that out. What I said, the last thing, Chip, because I mispronounced. What you gotta think about and do is, like I said earlier, with everything that's been going on. the last years. Try to be a little nicer to everyone, because everyone needs it now.
Yeah.
Because the world is so uh,
Oh
weird.
yeah.
It's been for the last years.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I I usually do my grocery shopping at just one place, one shop, and I every time I'm there, I'm talking to this people that work there, and there are other people that have that as their uh, grocery store, or they only shop there, so we talk and stuff like that. And there's especially one older couple that I talked to, and they said that the small talks we have from now sometimes that makes their day a lot better. Uh, and that's just 2 minutes of my life that
Right.
makes their week a lot better. So try to be kind.
Well, guys, I tell you what, I sure have enjoyed speaking with you today. It's always a pleasure. I know it's probably getting close to the dinner time there. If it's not already dinner, I think it's about 6 p.m., which would be 1800 your time. It's 11
Correct.
a.m., 1100 here in the United States right now. And I'm so tickled that you came on the Knights Templars today, so that now we are an international podcast with international co-hosts for sure. So I look forward to us talking again next time, and I enjoy our friendships. And tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing the next week, guys. Go ahead, Jarl Eric.
Yeah, so I've enjoyed the chat, and I've enjoyed the Knives Templar podcast, and looking forward to listen to the rest of it and what's to come. And yeah, this week I'm in the process of starting a new business, so I got a lot of meetings, and I'm going. We have some nice weather coming, so I'm going to ride a lot of motorcycle, and I even got
You have a nice new motorcycle. Yeah.
yeah, I love it. And I got something special that I've made that I want to send to your way, Chip. I don't
Well,
want,
thank you so
yeah,
much.
I don't want to reveal what it is, but I think it will fit nice in this podcast. So I'm looking forward to sending this to
Well,
you
that's
this week.
wonderful.
So and see what you think.
Well, thank you so much. I look forward to that. And I actually have a package to put together to you guys. And Anders, I'll let you tell us what you do in the next couple of weeks. But I've still got 2 pair of American-made Liberty overalls to send to you, because you are my Southern redneck Norwegian friend, and that's American Southern redneck Norwegian friend, because we both love overalls. So, what are you going to be doing next week or so, Anders?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna wear my overalls, of course, and I'm gonna use my knife. The first upcoming week, I'm uh, I'm gonna be done with 2 big felling jobs. Uh, Payday, woohoo! Can't wait. Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
How many trees do you think you'll be taking down?
This week,
Yeah.
uh, between 30 and 40.
Oh man,
Wow.
Yeah. So and I'm gonna do some carpenting on the evenings, and I'm gonna go look at 2 big jobs, Monday and Friday. Hopefully, I get those, because one of the jobs are gonna be very good paid job, and it's outdoors, so it's a job I really want. So I'm going to look at it tomorrow.
nice.
And other than that, it's I'm gonna have a blast with my family and keep doing goofy stuff with my
So,
daughter and wife.
And your
and Lucky the
grandchild.
dog.
You're the
Of
yeah.
course, my
I think you're
grandchild.
the youngest grandfather I ever knew.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
But
I'm turning 37 the 24th of March, and I'm a
Yeah,
grandfather.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And you're no less a grandfather in the way you treat those children. You're a great grandfather.
That's good.
The way you treat the children
Thank
than any old grandfather I know. So
Just one.
it's wonderful.
Yeah, me and
I just had a
yeah.
question. We're talking about the overalls you guys are rocking. Do you just the overalls with are you going commando, or how are you guys rocking those cool things?
Depends on the customer. If it's MILF, I'm going
Okay.
commando.
He's got a gold lame thong that he wears, big shiny thong that he wears with big gold boots. I'm sure that says Husqvarna on them. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining the Knives Templars, and our listeners today. Thank you for checking in, and look for a new episode with Chris, Eric, Otis Sear, and Joey coming out here in the next week. And as always, thank you for joining us. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.